What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this week's Artist in Progress. We ran into a really big batch of technical difficulties, and I sincerely apologize. I watch the stream every week just to make sure there's nothing going on. The one week I forget to load the stream, and that's what happens. Guess what happens? It didn't actually go live. So we are live now. For anybody who is trying to watch the stream, I apologize. I am,
Is somebody in
sort
a
of
river or static or something?
It's
I
probably
don't know.
me.
Yeah. Well, your audio was much better, and then I don't know what happened. But today we are live with Mr. Fish. And hold on, we're just trying to make sure this is working.
Is that better?
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's much better. That is much better. It won't go live until 50 after, I'm guessing. I don't know what's going on. It's not showing the live on my end. Can you guys see the live? Can anybody see the live? Anybody
Mine says
in the live?
live 1 minute and 53 seconds.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah.
just now hitting 153.
Okay. All right, it says we're live, but I'm not seeing the live show up on the show or on the page. All right. Well, worst case scenario, we'll save the video and stitch it together. Do a little bit of video editing on our end, but we are live on Facebook and Twitch. I can guarantee you that. So for everybody watching on Facebook and Twitch, how are you guys doing today? Please feel free to hop in and say hello. We have Mr. Fish this week, and we are just kind of catching back up. We are we're talking about his project, Roll for Hero. So, Mr. Fish, I apologize to make you have to do this again, but do you mind giving us your spiel one more time? Not to ruin your voice completely, but...
For those of y'all just tuning in, I've been struggling with my voice because I've been doing so many of these shows. But I'm Mr. Fish, the fastest pen in indie comics. I've worked on like 137 books in the last 7 years since I started doing this full-time, working as a comic book artist. And I do a show every Wednesday with my buddy Esteban. We do Roll for Hero, and we roll up a random character each week from a set of prompts, and we created the Roll for Hero handbook to go along with the show, and it's got all the tables and charts and stuff that you need in it to be able to roll up your own characters with a 6-sided dice. And it'll give you your alignment, your motivation, the origin of how you got these superpowers in the first place. You know, are you an alien trapped on Earth? Are you the last of a forgotten race with these magical powers? Have you trained your body and honed it to physical perfection, and it gives you the powers of something ridiculous that you couldn't train your body to do? You get to find out all in this, and it gives you a set of random prompts, and then you get to decide what you're going to do with that. This is not a hard and fast rule system that only works a certain way. It's not even really a rule system. It's not a whole role-playing game. It's an inspiration engine. It's a creativity exercise. This isn't a set of building plans and Lego blocks that only go together in one complicated way. I'm giving you a set of colors here, and you can decide which one of these paints you pick to use to paint with, how much you use, what you want to paint with it. That's all up to you. But the really cool thing to go along with this is not only are we doing it for the handbook, we're also going to create a mini comic together on backer-only live streams. They're going to be 3 times a week. It's going to be Monday morning, Wednesday afternoon, and Friday evenings. So hopefully somewhere in there, it hits your openings around work or time zones or the side of the globe you live on. Hopefully somewhere in there, we'll catch a time that you can join in on the live stream. And we're going to be rolling up the characters out of the handbook. We're going to create brand new characters, brand new world, brand new story. We're going to create all this together. You're going to help kick out names and ideas and settings, and we're going to put all this together and create a new comic book out of it. And you're going to get a front row seat to hang out with us while we create the characters, lay out the plot for the story, write the script, pencil and lay out the pages, do the inking and the lettering, all the way to printing, binding, trimming, shipping, packing, the whole 9 yards. So
Nice.
if you've ever wanted to fulfill a Kickstarter, if you've ever wanted to make a comic, if you've ever thought maybe it would be fun to get my story out there, but I don't want a whole lot of overhead doing Ashcan Comics is a really fun way to be able to do it at home affordably and try it out. See if this is for you. See if this is worth taking the next step and going to digital printing and, you know, everything beyond that. It's going to be so much fun. The only caveat on the live streams is that we're going to keep it relatively PG because I truly believe in giving back to the community that's given me so much. Like, I get to pay my mortgage drawing superheroes beating each other up in their underwear, and that's freaking awesome. I'm living my childhood dream. So I want to give back to everybody that helps make that possible. So I'm going to be there to answer all your questions. If you've ever thought about wanting to write comics, or you're an artist and you've thought about you want to do this full time, you can ask me questions about what that's really like, you know, realistically, because it's not easy. It's hard work nonetheless. I get to draw superheroes all day, but it's still hard work, and there's, you know, it's not easy. I go to bed tired and exhausted at the end of the night. My brain hurts from thinking and being creative all day, but it's better than digging a ditch, and I love my work, so, you know, I can't complain about it. But I'm excited to be able to give back, and I just want to keep it clean, keep the jokes clean, so that we can have younger people in here that want to be the next generation of comic creators and get to feed into them the way I wish I had artists that were willing to feed into me when I was coming up and give me tips and advice and answers and a realistic look at what it's like to work in the field that I love so desperately. And so I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited. I have absolutely no idea what's going to come. I don't have a secret script scrolled away that we're going to do, and I'm just going to lead you there. No, I don't have any of that. It's going to be absolutely random. It's going to be wild. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah, it sounds awesome, dude. For those of you who are thinking about using AI, this is a much better answer than ever touching it, honestly. You know, it has its, you know, AI's got its usage, you know, but in art, not so much. If you're looking for something and you're like, how can I create something? I want to come up with a random character. This is it, man. This is
All
cool.
you need is a couple of 6-sided dice that you can get out of your Monopoly game or something.
Yeah.
And you can roll up random characters. Like, we have created so many amazing characters on the show that every week we get done creating characters that we want to turn into comic books, but we've got jobs and lives and things, and I've got other comic books that I've got to get done for myself and other creators that hire me to do this, and I can't just stop and make a new Ashcan comic every week when we think of something cool. But this time I get to, because we're all going to do it together, and it's going to be freaking awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Heck yeah, this is awesome. All right. So I showed off the thing here, the Kickstarter here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Blow it back up for you guys. Let's see. Let's check out this video.
Hey there, comic fans. It is your ever-loving Uncle Fish, the
Is it playing?
fastest bit.
Hold on. It's on mute. Can you guys hear it?
I can hear it, yeah.
And we are here for the Roll for Hero Handbook Kickstarter. What is it? This is a character generator. It is a creativity exercise. This is an inspiration engine, baby. This is the Roll for Hero Handbook. It goes along with our show, Roll for Hero. It has all the tables and charts that you're going to need to be able to roll up awesome new characters on the spot. Who reads the Roll for Hero Handbook? This is for artists that are looking for a new challenge. This is for writers who want to create new heroes and villains. This is for creative kids that are just itching to create brand new worlds full of amazing creatures. This is for comic creators that are looking
Brandon,
for
you're gonna have to. If you have any questions,
this is for people struggling with artist block. This is for gamers looking for inspiration for the next PC for their game. This is for game masters who are looking for a quick new henchman or villain to throw at your characters.
Yeah, I really like this.
This is a fun way to come up with random characters. Now, this is not an entire game. This is not an entire role-playing system
as
or
you guys
anything
can
like
see,
that. This is just prompts to get you started in the creativity. This will give you a list of your alignment. It'll give you your motivation. It'll give you your origin, how you got your powers, what those powers are, and then you get to mix those together in any way you see fit. Now, this is not a hard and fast set of rules. This is not, these things only work this way, and you have to do it this way. That's not what I'm giving you. This is not a complicated set of Lego blocks that only fit together in a very particular way. Oh, no. This is giving you a variety of paints. and you get to
What's going
choose
on here?
how you mix those paints together and what you paint with
Now
it.
we're
Your
painting.
creativity is the
For those
only
who
limitation
can hear the
when it
video,
comes to Roll for Hero.
I've
What's
rehearsed
the
this
other part
pretty
of this
well.
campaign, you ask? The Roll for Hero mini comic. We are going to be creating a brand new ash can sized mini comic on the spot. We are going to be doing this on 3 new weekly live streams that are be coming out, backers only. So everybody that backs, even at the $5 digital tier, is going to get links to all of the shows every week that you can come on, you can hang out, you can get a masterclass of what it's like to create comics from beginning to end, baby. We're going to be rolling up prompts from the Roll for Hero handbook to create the characters that are going to be in this
Think
new
for,
comic. And you
future
can be there
reference,
and
add
learn
closed
things from the
captions.
get-go, like character creation, character design, plotting out the story from beginning to end, what it's like to outline the script, page layouts, lettering comics, penciling action-packed pages, inking clear
talk so
dynamic
fast in the
action
video,
scenes,
it would be
compiling
really
the finished
distracting
pages
to
for
have
print and digital comics, printing the mini comics in your own home,
I sped up my
packaging,
southern
shipping,
drawl really
trimming,
fast.
binding, the whole 9 yards, soup to nuts. We're going to be doing it all
You got a lot of
on
content to put in
live stream.
4.5 minutes.
You can come hang out
Oh,
for as
I
little
cut
as
it down
$5
from
and
11.
get to ask all the
Oh,
questions
wow.
you ever had. This is for anybody who's ever wanted to make their own comic book. Whether you've been in this for a long time and maybe you're looking for an economical way to save money now and try out new ideas without breaking the bank, or maybe you're just getting started and you just want to get your stories out there so people can see it. This is going to be an amazing time. We're going to have a lot of fun. One of the other awesome things that we've got available on the Roll for Hero Kickstarter is the character design drawing pad. This thing is 50 pages of action-packed character sheets, action-packed images. Now, as you can see, this has character sheets in there, but it's not just this character sheet. It's not just this same guy over and over again, but there's characters in every shape and size. There's men, there's women, there's
Really neat.
skinny,
I'm
there's
really
fat,
proud of
there's
the way
all
it
kinds of
came
different
out.
characters done in this light blue line, so you can easily draw
character
over
sheets
with your
with
design,
all kinds of
color it in.
different
There's
characters
places to
designed
put
on
all
it.
the information that you roll up
So
in
if
Roll
you
for
want to
Hero
do a big
handbook.
hulking
But then,
character
when
or
you're ready,
X-Men
you just tear that
Spider-Man
one off and you've got
style
another page
or
of
a
action-packed
style
scenes where you
or
can draw your
whatever.
character in these scenes over all these template bodies. This pad is amazing. This is a
God,
big,
what's its
fat,
name?
thick, 50-page pad with 25
Or the
original
blog
images on
from,
there, of brand new
X-Men.
character sheets,
There's
action-packed
figures on there
images,
that you can
lots
draw
of cool
over
characters. You can draw
in
your new
light blue
OCs,
line,
fighting,
and
battling,
you can draw
fending
your
off the
character
villains.
over it
It's
and
going to be
design it.
awesome.
And then there's
You want to get
action
in?
poses for
This
all these
alone
bodies
is worth the
doing
price
cool
of
stuff
admission, baby.
that you can
This
draw
drawing
your
pad
characters
is so
and
much
fighting
fun.
with other
You'll want to get in on this.
heroes and
You'll
whatnot.
want to get in on the mini
Well,
comic
this
action.
is cool.
And you
I
want to
really,
get
really,
the
this
Roll
is
for Hero
something that
handbook,
would've been
baby.
awesome to have
Your
when
Uncle
I was a
Fishy
kid.
loves you. I'll see
I
you
would
on
have
the
had,
live
I would have had infinite fun with it.
Hey there, comic
For sure.
fans.
Oh, let me play it again.
Yeah,
That's
if I,
awesome, dude.
what I really want to do, I don't know if you guys had it when you were a kid, but there was this Monster Maker kit that had these different tiles that you could put together and then put the paper over it and hit it with the crayon sideways,
Yeah.
and it would you get this monster, and you can mix and match the tiles and have like the lizard man lower half and Dracula's upper body and then an alien's head, and mix all this stuff together. I want to do a much better version of that, but it's just producing the dang thing would be so time consuming. It's either going to
Yeah.
be expensive to get molds made and stuff and get it cast, or it's going to take a really long time to 3D print all those tiles. But
Yeah.
I would really love to do something like that that could give you really cool action poses and stuff of like a generic form that you could then draw whatever you want to over it, I think that would be a lot of fun down the road at some point.
So I got questions.
I got answers.
All right.
Go for it, boss.
So I know you're trying to save your voice, but do you want to kind of go through not like a drawing scenario of it, but like how the dice work and like on a few pages? Because I know I'm looking that there's the 6-sided dice set. I'm kind of curious on how it goes.
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. Give me 1 second here. I will, because we do this on the show every week. I've been going through the PDF of the original one that we did. We printed these up and took them to a show me and Esteban did, and we did like a live Roll for Hero with the kids at this Comic-Con, and it was a lot of fun, and we gave out, copies of the book and stuff. So I made them for that so we would have them on hand, and we've been play testing them with the people on the show and the people in the comments and stuff. they've all downloaded the PDF, and we've been playtesting it and looking for problems and looking for things that break and things that didn't work as well as we wanted, so that I can make a revised version at the end of this. And we're going to add in some extra powers and some extra origins and all of that stuff. Let me grab my little notepad here and my pen. I got my dice, and let me share this screen so that you can.
One other question that while you're doing that. So, is this the digital one? Is it iPad friendly or like phone friendly? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it should. I mean, I think it would all be easily viewable on the phone. I made it. It's not designed for kids, but it's definitely very kid friendly. And so, like, I didn't want to make it absolutely silly, but though there are cartoons of me and Esteban all through the whole thing acting ridiculous, because that's what we do on the show. And it's like a running bit. Like, you see how evil I am on this page, because it's kind of a running bit through the show that, like, he really likes making heroes and I really like making villains. And I really I like the darker side of things, and, like, you know, what makes a person break and makes people, you know, do bad things. And I find that so much more interesting than, you know, just Dudley Do-Right always doing the right thing. And he is a very good, wholesome boy that likes, you know, Superman and wants to do good things. So it's a fun contradiction on the show. So anyway, when we're playing, I'm going to change this to alignment, because the hero or villain table is just a little bit, that's too much. That's too wordy. That was too wordy to put on a character sheet. It seemed good as an explanation in the beginning, but it doesn't work long term. So we're going to roll 1d6 for our alignment. I got a 4, so we've got a not so good character. That's the morally gray area. That's anyone from, like, Deadpool to Han Solo, you know, to Huggy Bear, like, you know, anybody in there. So not so good. I got to write it down or I will forget. And then we go down to our motivation, which can be really fun when the your alignment and your motivation don't line up. Makes for really interesting characters. So I'm going to roll another 1d6, and we got a 6. And that means we are not so good, but our motivation is a sense of justice.
Okay.
Which could be really interesting. Like Frank Castle is not a hero, but he's doing what he does out of a sense of justice, you know. So that would be a good example of that. Justice. Like, I like things like when you get, like, truly evil, but they're a glory seeker. Like, I think of Skeletor when I think of that, like somebody who really wants to be evil, but only if everybody can see how evil I am. If nobody's paying attention, I'm going to go home and pout. Or you know, or like somebody who is you know, evil, but is doing it out of a sense of justice, let's say, would be a good, like, Doctor Doom. Somebody who truly believes he would be the best leader of the planet if you would just shut up and give him control, which is kind of what we talked about on the next page here. Or, like, if you had a villain that was only in it as a glory seeker, you know, what happens when the cameras don't show up and nobody's paying attention to the hostages that he took? Does he just get mad and go home? That can make for really interesting characters.
Yeah.
Now we get to our origin table. So now we're going to roll 4d6. Or if you got 1, you can roll it 4 times and add it together. And let's see. I got 6, 7, 8, 9. So we go down to 9. An alien granted us the powers of. So an alien gave us these powers, which could be very, like, you know, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern kind of thing, or, you know. Oh, I was trying to think. What was that movie, Mac and Me, where the alien comes down and starts doing all the crazy, wacky stuff?
Yeah.
Right. Or like Ben 10, where you get the watch.
Great example. Absolutely great example. Oh, I didn't even think. I got to add that to my repertoire. Okay, now this is the set of powers that we get from that. This is going to tell us how many skills and major and minor powers that we get, which is just different things that we roll on the different tables. And so we're going to roll 2d6, and I got a 9. So that gives us one major power and one minor power. One major, one. Forgot how to write minor. And then we roll down. We didn't get any skills in that one, but that's where you get like your expert hand-to-hand fighter, gymnast, detective, master of disguise, all those kind of things that make Daredevil and Batman so cool, but aren't necessarily superpowers. And now I'm going to roll 6d6. Let's see. That is 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to math my tired brain for just a second. Let's see. That's 8, 18. That is 24. So our one major power is alter body, grow, or shrink.
Okay. Whoa. Not so good guy who can shrink or grow. Ugh.
All right. Which right now I'm thinking Ant-Man, like the latest Ant-Man. He's not such a good guy necessarily, we're a former criminal. All right, now 5d6 for our minor power, and see where we're gonna mix this up. And boy, you had to roll all the way under my tablet, didn't you? There we go. All right, let's see. 3s, 2s. I find it so much easier to match up the numbers, and it's so much easier to okay, 2 4s, that's 8, and then do it that way. 6, that's 10, 16. All right, so we go down, continued on next page, go to 6. Ooh, Sonic Scream.
I got a Banshee that could grow or shrink.
Okay, interesting.
Sonic Scream. And then we get to my absolute favorite part of the show, the optional modifier, which is the beautiful monkey wrench in the machine that makes me so happy every time I roll for this. This is where we get the weird thing that, the monkey's paw that throws a hook in the end of it, and often makes it so hard for some people to figure out how to work it together. And this is absolutely optional. All of this is optional. You can take or leave whatever you want on this. And if you just want to pick something because that sounds like fun to draw today, do that.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine.
Nice.
6, 7, 8. 8 we got. I'll bet you it's one that I've got several times because I seem to keep doing that. Yes, it is. It is poison. Your powers are slowly killing you. Which is more important to you, protecting yourself or those around you? I love that one.
Interesting. I like that. Very similar to what they did in like Iron Man, where his reactor was slowly killing him.
And this is where there's lots of wild stuff on here, like you're still learning and you haven't got good control of your powers yet, or your powers come from some kind of giant external device somewhere, like a giant power source in your lair or some ancient relic somewhere, or the power comes from your suit, which could be Greatest American Hero, where it came from his suit, or it could be Iron Man, depending on what you do, or it comes from an artifact like Green Lantern does, or you have to have a major transformation like Shazam, or what is the girl? Sailor Moon. Like you're just a person until you have the magic transformation, and now you have the superpowers, which is really interesting because like you're vulnerable. Like if you get in a car wreck and you haven't transformed into Shazam yet, you could get turned to mush. But we got
a real quick question, Mr. Fish.
Absolutely.
Mantlebeard who is not with us, but is in the chat.
With us in spirit in the chat.
Yes, with us in spirit in the chat. It says, curious how long it took to come up with this process for the book. Seems like a lot of variables to figure out.
That's actually a really good question. It really helped us hone it down over the first 2.5 seasons of the show that we did, because we would just make up tables to roll on each time, and sometimes we made way more tables than we needed. And
Mhm.
I remember like the first time we decided to do aliens, my buddy Esteban made up the tables, and he got excited. And so there was tables for like how many feet you had, and how many arms you had, and how many eyes you had, and what kind of eyes you had, and what your skin was like, and what kind of, all these different things.
Yeah.
And A, it was very tiring to roll through all that. And B, by the time you got done, you had a whole lot of stuff that was contradicting with each other. So we
Yeah.
learned a lot through that process of seeing like what was fun to use and what wasn't fun, and
Yeah.
what gave people a little bit too much trouble. Like, used to be, I would just have like elemental control on there, and you could control an element, and you could pick whatever that element was. You could pick
Yeah.
if it was cosmic energy or fire or pencil shavings or whatever you want that element to be, and how you want that to be. Like, if you're controlling rock, does that mean you turn into like rock like Ben Grimm, or does that mean you're an earthbender, or is it something in between? Does it mean you can phase through rock? Like, whatever you want that to mean, you can make it mean. But that was too open-ended for a lot of people, and a lot of people would get stuck thinking, well, does that just mean I can control absolutely everything? And and it would get them stuck in their imagination, and they weren't having fun. They were
Yeah.
getting stuck on it.
Yeah.
So like, we made the element table to help with that. So if you roll like I have elemental control, then you can come down to the element table and see, is that light, is it electricity, is it radiation or fire or metal or lava or rock or water. You can still decide how does that look for your character. If you have control over water, are you a waterbender, or are you hydro man? Like, how does this work out for you? It could be whatever you want it to be.
It reminds me of Monster Girl in Invincible universe, where every time she changed, it de-aged her, so she got younger and younger each time.
See, I love a monkey's paw aspect to it. I love it when there's a cost to doing it. Like,
Yeah.
one of the modifiers on there is you only have so much power. And so every time you use it, you're using up some of that power. So, like, when do you use it? Do you fly just because you enjoy flying and it's fun, and
Yeah.
it's a quicker way to get to work, if that means you may not be able to save the city from a nuke later because you used up all your power flying around watching the sunset? You know, are you willing to go save the city against that nuke, even though it means you may not come back because your powers are going to run out halfway through?
Yeah.
Like, that leads to awesome character creation and
Right.
awesome character. It's not always necessarily easy to draw, but this isn't just for drawing a cool picture. This is for coming up with a neat idea for a character.
Right.
And the fun thing I love about this is some of the characters come out absolutely wacky. Some of them come out really deep and cool. And this can be a fun way to come up with like that character that needs to get killed off in the book to show that there's consequences in your world, but you don't want to kill off your main hero, the star of your book, or the main villain that you have plans for down the road. So maybe you roll up a side villain, for a B story that can get murdered or something here. Or, the plucky young sidekick that doesn't survive. You can roll something up really quick and not
Yeah.
necessarily have to use one of your babies to show there's consequences in the book.
Yeah.
And
This is
then
cool.
there's an animal table as well. So like if you get like you have animal weapon powers, or you're a were animal, or you're a mutated animal or something like that, there's all kinds of animals here to roll from. Gorillas and horny toads and porcupines and wolves and centipedes and unicorns. And ultimately the goal is to have fun and be creative with it. And we use lots of examples of like how you can mix randomly sounding things together. Like if you get werewolf and astral projection, then maybe your OC is a character that when he astral projects himself, he becomes an intangible werewolf. And, or who knows? You could do it however you want to do it.
Heck yeah.
So, all right. So we got our character. Do we want to draw something? Because I'm down for drawing.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Had to.
He says that we have.
Yeah.
All right, let me. Turn that off and turn that off. Well, peeking at my own campaign. Turn that off. There's an old boy we rolled up the other day.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool.
An alien plant monster, dude. Uh, and like this guy, I got. Oh, let me look it up real quick because I got. That's why I write them down on cards so I can look it back up again. He's slightly evil with a haunted past. He's an alien stranded on Earth with one major power and two minors. He's got mind control, plant control, and invisibility. And his modifier was he has to go through a major transformation to use his powers. So what we came up with is that he's a plant-based alien and he has plant control and all that stuff. And he has some mind control powers as well. And he uses them. He can transform his plant body down into a more human shape and use his mind control powers to convince everybody that he blends invisibly in with the humans. Nobody notices that he's green and his skin is kind of leafy and his hair looks like grass. But if he really wants to use his alien powers, he has to transform into his full alien looking self. He can't be using all his powers to pretend to be human anymore. So he has to release and become this big dude. And he's... And I love the more we played with him, the more we made him a wannabe hero who's slightly evil because he comes from a world where he's a carnivorous plant and he doesn't see things and understand things the same way we do here. And he wants to be good, but when he rescues a lady and her family from, being crushed by a flying car, he's like, thank you. I can eat one of these babies, right? As a snack? Yes, thank you. And she's like, no, you can't eat my baby. But you have so many. Can't I just have one? And he doesn't understand that that's rude and that you don't eat children. They look so tasty and juicy.
That's funny.
All right, let's see. Where is my mouse? I have so many screens and only the one mouse. And let's see.
So is the way that you do this, like if you're doing it with like a group of people, you're all drawing the same type of character, but your own rendition of it?
Oh yeah, the first season for sure, we would take the same prompt and then see where everybody ended up, what they ended up designing off of that. And then later on we started like rolling up our own, like we would all roll and see what we got on it and come up with our own characters. It's whatever's fun. My idea for the show that I wanted to do, and Esteban had an idea for doing the same show, and when we realized we both wanted to do it, it was like, okay, let's do this show then. My idea was to bring on random artists like you guys, and we would all get a set of prompts like, oh, that's the wrong card. Like a not so good character that's doing this out of a sense of justice, who an alien gave them the powers to grow and to shrink and to have a sonic scream, but these powers are slowly killing them. And what do we design off of that? What do we come up with? What does that inspire you to create? What does that inspire me to create? And to see where that idea takes everybody. Because to me, that's the really fascinating part.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And you can real quickly like learn a lot about somebody and their what they love, what inspired them as an artist, what really gets their juices flowing. Because like a lot of my stuff has a bit of a very old school superhero, a bit of a sci-fi vibe to it. And very toyetic feel a lot of the time. And like my buddy Esteban, his stuff really slides towards like Power Rangers and Sentai and stuff like that. Like you can tell what he loves and what gets his creativity going. So, okay, let's see. I've been doing a lot of guys lately, so I'm going to do a girl for one. So I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to start trying to... Oh, yeah, she can grow. Oh, yeah, she can grow. Do Attack of the The 90-foot woman here.
I did a Giganta one time, but the inspiration from somebody that wanted it as a commission was the Attack of the 50-foot woman over the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I drew she was holding on to Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and the old Batman and Robin were running down the bridge towards her feet, and it was pretty neat. Bring an old school poster into a newer modern thing. So we're gonna go off the prompts you already had. That's cool.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's awesome. And what comes to your mind when you're thinking not so good?
Dark colors, evil poses. I don't know.
Like Spawn, something like
Spiky.
that.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. Oh, that's pretty good.
I don't know where my eraser is. Hold on.
I'm really wishing I knew where my glasses are.
Right?
Because I didn't think about drawing when I ran in here, because we just got back from Spider-Man, and my wife was like,
Oh, you saw Spider-Man 2?
like, we just got back. I am literally drinking out of my Cinemark cup right now.
Nice.
We just got back, and the alarm went off saying that I had a show to be on, and I had completely forgotten. I had forgotten what day of the week it was my problem. That was the problem. I hadn't forgot about being on the show. I forgot what day it was. And so, yeah, my wife was like, "You're supposed to be on a show?" And I was like, "No." "Oh, wait, yes, I am." And then I was scrambling trying to find the link for it, and I was checking every email I had, only to find it in Instagram. And so it took me a second. I apologize for that. But it took us a second to get everything nailed down on the air anyway. So I don't feel as bad as I did. I tell you, weirdly enough, about a year ago, I started taking a whole extra step in my penciling and going way more back to basics and like laying out the head and stuff way more than I had in so much of my professional work. And most of the time I would just sketch out a rough shape and then put a face on it and be done. But I've like really started going back to basics more and laying out, actually breaking it down and putting those dimensions on there and the proportions, and going a little bit more back to basics with my body and stuff.
Yeah.
Taking a whole extra step in the pencils here to like rough out the shape and then do the body, get the whole body drawn out, and then put clothes and suits and stuff on it. And it takes an extra little bit of time. It's definitely slowed me down a bit, but I like the way my books have been coming out better. Definitely been coming out more consistent. Less of the, it looks a little bit different, in that panel. Or
Yeah.
she looks like she had a reduction from one panel to the next. And it's definitely helped me even out a little bit of that.
Nice.
And it's definitely helped me even out a little bit of that. That one face in that one panel could have been a little better. I mean, there's still some of that from time to time. Like there's always going to be something you think you could have done better. But it's definitely helped me get rid of the, that one kind of bugs me. Now that the book's printed and in my hand and I'm looking at it, I should have took another swipe at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of the things that my instructor my instructors kind of drilled in a little bit. Was like, hey, you gotta slow down. You're not at that level where you can just. Obviously I'm at a different. We're all at different levels, but he's like, you're not at that level where you can just go forward and do it all. Um, and so like, yeah, I definitely had to slow down a lot, which did kind of pretty much slow me down a lot, a lot.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, yeah. Tom says I do like taking an extra pass of pencils. Kyle says heavy clothes. Okay, that's neat.
Like I've taken to
What's up, Kyle?
like actually drawing eyeballs in, and I haven't done that since like, gosh, junior high probably.
Yeah,
But it's really helped me make my eyes more expressive, honestly. Doing it that way, I've I've really been liking it. I never would have thought I would have gone, I hate to say backwards like that, but just going back to basics. And I felt I had evolved past it, but it's honestly making me a better artist. My art's coming out better, going back and making sure that I'm hitting that right, and taking one extra pass at the construction of the character like this helps me get stuff just laid out better. And also, like, I don't know if anybody noticed, but like when I roughed out my sketch, I had the page right, and then I flipped the page to start laying out the orange layer and tightening everything up. So anything that was wonky in my sketch now stands out like a sore thumb when I flipped it and mirrored the page. And then when I go back to ink, I'm going to mirror the page again, and anything that got wonky in my tighter pencils is going to be super obvious.
It's actually quite fun to do. So I've been working on my doing like a Marvel versus Capcom thing to try to for a charity thing for Retro Game Con. So I just got done roughing out a Chun-Li, and I'm going to be working on a Ryu and then a Wolverine for it. But I was like, man, I really want to get back to like doing a couple of my characters for a book I'm trying to do for me. Well, for everybody, but like as soon as it's done for me.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I wish I would have had something in my mind that was just like doing this to come up with the character designs and everything, because it makes you think about it differently. So
Yeah.
get that go.
might also set you outside of your comfort zone too, which is always a good thing.
Oh
to do.
man.
You're like, oh, I've never drawn that before. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try.
It always pushes us so far out of our comfort zone and away from doing, like never would have dreamed that I would be, designing an alien that was, a bee and a shark mixed together. And but you end up with some cool designs. And even if it doesn't hit every time, you stretched your imagination and your creativity in a new direction that you haven't stretched it before. And and that's always helpful in coming up with new ideas and getting new stuff.
Yeah.
Not all of those ideas are winners, but it definitely helps free up those muscles and get you used to thinking in creative, weird new ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And not having everything come out looking the same, which I had realized when I drew for fun myself. Looking back now, I'm like, a lot of my stuff got really samey, and definitely could tell I drew it. And this is definitely starting to push me in some new directions with all the weird stuff we've been drawing.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Well, what did you think of Spider-Man?
I
No,
dug
no
it. It
spoilers.
was good. It was good. No spoilers. It was good. I enjoyed it. I was honestly impressed with how they pulled off the relationship between him and the Punisher. I thought they did a really good job with that. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to pull it off in a way that was, going to keep Disney and Sony happy on a Spider-Man movie or not, and
Yeah,
still make it enjoyable. And I enjoyed it, and I laughed, and uh, it was a fun, believable relationship between these two guys. And it was sad, and it was emotional, and it was exciting, and it was action packed, and I love it. I love it. I
yeah, I
loved it
was.
for everything that it gave me and everything that it didn't. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I liked it too. Me and the boys and my wife went and watched it last night, and I was telling James earlier. I think No Way Home was better for me, but what they did, and again, it's really hard to not spoil it either,
Yeah.
which I'm gonna really try not to. The things that people thought about the movie for the trailers, they might want to think it again or like rethink it a little bit
Hmm.
because the trailers didn't even have some of the stuff in the trailers in the movie, and that's a Feige thing for sure. He's a good liar, we'll say. He's a good
Oh,
liar.
yeah, and that they always do that. Like,
Yeah.
show clips and stuff that are distractions that make it look like it's gonna zig when it zags and stuff.
yeah,
Um, the one thing that I always think back to was the original Toy Story. Like, they showed every funny scene in the movie, but they made you think it was going to be a completely different movie than it was. And
yeah,
it blew my mind because they showed all the best parts in the trailer. They gave it all away, but then completely made a different movie out of it than what the trailer made you think going in. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that as well as they did in that one. But yeah, I definitely thought I was going to be getting a much different movie than I did. And, but I enjoyed it. And not for nothing, my wife enjoyed it. And my wife couldn't give a flip about comic books. She was going to this movie because she loves me and she knows I wanted to see it and I would
yeah.
have been disappointed if I'd missed out, and she knew tomorrow on our evening show, the 5 Star Feed with my buddies, that they would have all seen it, and she didn't
Ruined
want
it.
me to be the odd man out, and my Kickstarter was successfully funded, blah, blah, blah. She wanted to do something nice, so she took me to go see it. And she was laughing and clapping and cheering. She don't like superhero movies.
That's cool.
She really enjoyed it at the theater. She might not admit that in 3 days, but she was laughing and clapping and having a big old time.
Yeah, I thought the coolest part about going to the movies now, and I always tell this to my kids, and especially my older two kids. I got to grow up in a time where I got to enjoy like Batman and Spider Man as action figures and as comics and as cartoons and as live action movies, where they didn't get to really experience that unless I kind of said, hey, this is what a VCR is. You ever see one of these?
Hmm.
And I pop the tape in. And when we went to go see Spider Man, right next to my son, he's 11, and right next to him was a couple of teenage girls. And I was like, here we go. A group of girls that probably doesn't even know who Spider Man is. The one girl goes, I really like Tom Holland, that's why I want to watch this movie. But then when I heard them speak about Spider Man and they kind of knew what was going on, it kind of like
Hmm.
relit that thing of there's hope for people, because it's just a thing where, like, if you're going to watch it because people say, you know, so and so is in it, if you go into it not thinking about who the actor is, and you're going in and thinking about who that person is playing, then you're going to enjoy that movie a lot more. And the teenage girls actually made me proud to say that, you know, they weren't in it for the look, they were in it for the lore. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's more, and you know, but these guys have grown up their whole lives being exposed to these kind of movies that we could have only dreamt of when we were kids. And you know, I mean, for me, it was a long time between the Christopher Reeve Superman movies and the Tim Burton Batman. That was
Yeah.
a long dry stretch right there with
Mhm.
no good superhero movies unless it was some weird B movie.
Yeah.
And then those really only started coming out like crazy after Batman showed that it could be done again. And uh, that was a long go. It was a long go with no Star Wars. It was a long go with none of that cool stuff. And just dreaming of what it would be like to see Spider-Man on the big screen. And I loved like the TV movie Spider-Man, you know, that I
Oh
grew up.
yeah,
Man,
the one when they showed him that he was a clone, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then, like, later on in my life, I got to read the whole clone saga, and
mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, they did it. Like, you wouldn't even think that old TV would do that, and they did, because somebody had a mind like us now, you know, back then.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. I'm so glad my kids got to grow up in the age they got to grow up in and you know, get to see all of their favorite characters laid out on the screen and stuff the way they did.
Yeah. Like, I used to pick on my brother for liking Power Rangers and things, but then when you go back and you actually, like, there was actually a story here, you know, like these people weren't just like, let's make giant robots for people to just enjoy. They actually put stories behind them and everything, and that's where things started to change for me when it came to stuff like that, you know. And I'll put the same thing out there too for, like, you remember the Care Bears movie? It was really dark, like you wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
think it was a Care Bears movie, but I mean, people don't realize that there could be any kind of a twist to any kind of story. They even did it with, like, My Little Pony. There's a bunch of stuff that people just didn't understand at the time, that they're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah,
Hey,
that
now
I'm not gonna like that.
don't stink on the Swamp
Yeah.
Thing movies, man.
No,
I
no,
mean, they
no,
were
not at
bad
all.
and kitschy, but I loved them.
No.
They Those were my favorites growing. That made me fall in love with Swamp Thing. Made me go back and buy all those original Swamp Things that are like flashing by in the opening credits and stuff for, like, I think it's the second movie. I went back and bought every single one of those, and um, and that's honestly, that's the version of Swamp Thing still to this day that's my favorite. Back when it was still like a horror comic, and you know, before it got all weird and the green and all this and that, when it was just like a swamp monster trying to survive in this like cursed mystical swamp where anything could be turned into a monster, and maybe you're time traveling this day, or you know, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And now he's in Gotham for some reason, and now he's in a freaking, you know, small town that's taken over by an alien like plant or something they dug up in the mine in that small town. Oh, I loved it back when it was just a creepy horror monster comic, and you didn't know what was going to happen before they like. I don't like Swamp Thing as a superhero as much as I like him as a, you know, cursed monster man thing.
I'll tell you the coolest thing about Swamp Thing for me. not just like the old movies or anything, but when they started doing the newer animation stuff, and there was the Justice League Dark,
Mm-hmm.
and that I can't remember the character's name, but he rips Alec right out of Swamp Thing, like some kind of weird power that he took Alec right out of Swamp Thing, and then Swamp Thing just disappears down into the green. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, oh, they just took the soul of Swamp Thing out. Now what's going to happen? So that was pretty neat. And my wife is heavy into like Constantine and Swamp Thing, Justice League Dark, and stuff like that too. So she got a hold of Green Hell, and now she's looking for the first big book. She's got 2 and 3, I believe, and she's trying to find the first one. It's a dark rabbit hole, we'll say, with Swamp Thing. It's not just a funny thing on what's that, the Harley Quinn show?
No, it's not. It gets dark and weird.
Oh yeah.
All right, hear me out. I got my character. He's very he's a little basic, but he's actually an ant turned humanoid. Okay, he's an ant turned humanoid. He was given power by an alien goo that based off of a spaceship that landed, right? And his goal is to crush humanity because he feels as though he's been crushed, right? He wants to seek revenge for his brother and then have been stomped on.
Oh man, now hear me out.
There's a Bigfoot.
I think he needs to be like gathering supplies and stuff to try and make a gigantic magnifying glass so that he can like burn cities off the face of the earth,
That'd be hilarious.
To pay back for, what the humans did to his brethren. I think that would be epic. I do not like what I decided to do with her hair. I was trying to do something to make her look a little more alien, and it just looks weird. So.
Mantlebeard says, back when it was drawn by Bernie Wrightson.
Yo!
Swamp Thing.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate those of you who are still hanging with us despite all our technical difficulties. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube later, I hope I did a good job at stitching this video together. See, what do we work with, Brandon? What do we got?
Still working. Let's see if I can.
All right. You're good.
Because I don't have my cameras up right?
Yeah, you're good. I just did a quick doodle based off an idea. Very nice.
Yeah. So I'm just going off his prompts. You grow big or small.
I dig it. Yep.
And then I have to flip it over because it won't fit underneath there. So now it's twice as big.
I don't like that either. I have come up with this giant girl that has, again, she's been like experimented on by some alien, got abducted. They experimented on her. I'm thinking she's probably got like green skin or something now at this point, or blue, but she can grow to giant size and has this sonic scream that can just, lay waste to what's below her. And she has these like bracers and stuff to support her arms so she can just come punching down through buildings. And she has the shin guards and knee guards to protect her as she's busting through buildings and stuff. And,
nice.
Has her suit has to be unzipped a little bit to let her stretch as she grows because you got to. You need a little sex appeal in your giant women.
Yes.
It gets hot in that neoprene suit. You gotta let the steam out a little bit.
Right.
I really want to come up with something to make her look a little more alien infected than just a girl with weird colored skin, but I don't know. I haven't hit on it yet. Yeah. And I'm not super crazy about the face. I think, I don't like it. See, that's the thing. I flip it over and I hate it. So we're going to undo that. We're going to get rid of that. We're going to start over and do a new face because that did not work. Whoops. That wasn't invisible. That was solid. We didn't want to do that.
I think with mine that when he's small, his sonic scream is higher pitch, and the bigger he gets, the lower the pitch goes. So he can actually hit the brown note.
Oh.
The brown note. Nice.
Oh no.
Just a funny thing. But I think because mine looks like a pretty plain dude. There's not. I guess in my mind, a lot of the times, the superhero or the not so good a hero doesn't have to look the part.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes it's more relatable. And that's just me. You know?
Like my thought with her is that her suit is, while it looks a little superhero-ish, is really mostly just based around protecting her and making her stretching and growing experience, something that she can handle without her clothes ripping off and protect her from the buildings and whatnot that she's going to be dealing with. That's something I like to think through when I'm designing characters, is like, how is this going to work? Like if you shoot flaming pine cones out of your toes, then, do you have to have open-toed shoes to do that?
What does your toenails look like? That's the crazy part.
Yeah. And, like if you're super strong, does that mean you have big giant muscles? And if you have big giant muscles, then are you bulletproof? Do you need to have protection over your body that can stop you from getting, shot up because you're super strong, but you're not indestructible? All these different things, how do you get into your suit? I love thinking through the buckles and the straps and the zippers and like, how do you actually get into this thing and get out of this thing? And it leads to interesting things like, maybe she gets too hot in this thing, or, maybe as she grows too fast, maybe it's nice to have a zipper that can give you a little bit of extra room as you're growing to, make it a little easier on this stretchy suit.
Right? No capes. Sorry.
No capes.
No capes.
All right. God, I still don't like this. It still looks bad. Flipped around the other way.
Kamanama says maybe some ruptured, torn skin or scars to show the repeated trauma of the growth.
Some stretch marks. Nice.
There you go. Now we're thinking on our feet.
Well, I'm going to go belt a little bit since he's going to be too big to draw his feet. That's a common problem for me. I don't know about any of you, because Mr. Fish, I've seen a lot of your stuff over the last couple of weeks too, and James, I like your drawings as well. But sometimes when I am drawing, especially like on 11 by 17, I get going, and I'm like really, really into it, and then all of a sudden, I can't see the bottom of a foot, or I drew it too far to the right, and now the elbow's hanging out the page.
Oh, that's the thing that kills me about traditional, because I will start laying down a figure and everything is working great and it looks wonderful, and then like that foot just gets off the bottom of the page, or I get done with it and realize that they're all down here in one corner of the page and there's all this dead space up at the top because I didn't center them as well as I thought I was.
Yeah.
I love just being able to grab that whole thing and move it around and resize it or move that arm around. That is the thing. That is the biggest trick, hack, cheat to working digitally for me, is the time it saves me when, if I draw something like I just took her face a minute ago and selected it and stretched it and moved it around a little bit and resized it and got it to where I like it, rather than having to erase it again and redraw it again. If I get a hand that I really like, but that would make the arm too long. I can just select that hand to move it to where I want it to be, or grab the arm that I like and bend it into a position, and I don't have to erase the whole guy and start over. Or if I draw a really awesome super dude and then I realize I didn't leave any room for words, I can select super dude and shrink him and move him over a little bit and leave dialogue balloon area. And I don't have to erase him and start over from scratch and hope I get a face that looks as nice next time. And oh, that amount of time that it saves me makes all the difference in working digitally.
Right. I do like drawing, starting out like this, like traditionally for
Mm-hmm.
me, and then moving it over to digital. But and that's the thing, and because I either make it too big on my paper or whatever, if I could go in on my iPad or whatever I decide I'm going to draw on digitally for that day, and then I can move it, you know. But with that, at cons, people love these.
Oh yeah.
They don't care that the foot's hanging off the page, or they don't care that there's a coffee stain or anything like that on it. You know, they
Mhm.
just want the original. They want the digital with it, which is cool for me because I love my messy sketch stuff. And there's been times where I'm like, I don't know, I like it so much. Maybe I'll make a print of just the messy sketch, and
Yeah.
people like it. Like I have a spider punk that's like that, and that's probably one of my biggest sellers at a show is my messy sketch spider punk.
Oh yeah, like some of the messiest sketches I've done just trying out my new fountain pen that I got and just quickly sketching out a sketch after reading a new comic from, my pull list. I will get more comments on how awesome that rough, scratchy sketch that I just drew in pen and didn't even pencil out. I will get more comments on how awesome that looks than the tightest, neatest drawing that I put a whole lot of effort into every
Right.
time.
I I think I had this conversation with James the other night too, and I was doing some prints for him. Is that I feel like sometimes I hit a home run with just what I'm doing, and I just don't want to ink it because it's
Hmm.
one of the scariest things. Like I like inking, and I don't do it like everybody else does, which is fine for me. And one day maybe I'll see if someone would want to give it a shot at inking what I did draw. But when I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, man, this looks really good, and then I show like either James or Mantlebeard or Matt Flint, and like, what do you guys think? You know, and if
Yeah.
they can recognize the character, I did a good job. So, and that's what I was going for.
Heck yeah. Let's see, make sure there's nothing in the chat here. We're good in the chat. Yeah, I hope you guys don't mind. I kind of went a slightly different direction than you guys were going. Obviously.
No,
Oh no,
you're
man,
fired. That's all.
Cool.
you do you, man. It can be wrong. That's fine. You 100% chance of being wrong. That's okay. Because
Totally
I
wrong.
lied. There are hard and fast rules, and you all did it wrong. See,
Oh
that's why you need to
man.
get the Roll for Hero handbook available at
Yeah, exactly.
dungeonsdragons.com.
Yeah, exactly. You Mr. Fish, by the way, so I didn't notice that Spower says it seems like you have a lot of this kind of already done and planned out and stuff. Once the Kickstarter's done, is this something you're planning on having done in a couple weeks, a couple months? What's
Uh,
the idea? I guess not to put you on the spot as far as like when it's going to get done, because I know sometimes these things always have speed bumps as well. But
oh yeah, this has got a giant baked in speed bump of creating the mini comic with the fans and the backers.
yeah,
So that could make things take a couple of months longer, or it might go really, really fast. Like if it was just me and Esteban hanging out coming up with ideas. We could have the whole idea for a comic nailed down in, 1 2 hour show. And by the time we came back next week, if we were just doing the one show a week, I would probably have the book nearly finished by then.
Yeah.
But I'm committing myself to doing all of this on live stream. So it's going to take a little bit longer. And I want, like, we're going to take 3 episodes of the live stream to create characters and then decide which ones are going to be in the book. So that way, the people that can show up for the morning show on Monday and the Wednesday afternoon show and the Friday show can all get to take part in the creative process of coming up with characters. And then all the backers can vote on which characters they want to go forward in the book. And
Cool.
so, we may create some really awesome characters that don't get to do anything, but I want everybody to get a chance and not just like, oh, we came up with gold on Monday morning and you couldn't be there because you had a job, and so
Yeah.
tough stuff. You missed
Damn
out.
jobs.
Those darn jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn you for having a job. How dare you?
Though
That's
sometimes
good.
we'll have people that watch from work. And more than once I've like had conversations through the comments with somebody's boss because, I was like, hey, boss man, how are you doing? All right.
That's fun.
Okay, this is pretty cool. You still need to get your work done, but this is pretty cool. I'll let you watch it.
Yeah. The job that I got, it allows me a little bit of time between calls and everything because I work from home, doing the devil's work of turning on and off electricity.
Phone sex.
Yeah, 1-800 Wet Lips is one of the ones I used to do. But no, just it's good. The last couple of jobs have been like that for me. Like the one job I just got did before this last one, we were typing in license plates for Easy Pass. So like we would have downtime for hours at a time, and I would get things done there at work. But I think my luck is going to run out with this job because one, I hate the job. So I'd rather be doing this, but I'm trying to keep it realistic for myself. I'm trying really hard to make sure I can do it.
Well, that's the
And
thing. Like, it is definitely a trade-off because I know for a fact if I went back to doing like just graphic design, logo designs and stuff again, I could probably be making per hour what I sometimes make per day now drawing comics. And sometimes I miss that money, but I have never once missed the stress that comes with working with people that have never hired an artist before and working with people that are risking their life savings on this new business venture and hoping to God it's going to be successful, and they're terrified that this logo, everything is riding on it, and and they love what I did until they showed it to their brother, and now we need to have to change everything. And now
Yeah.
they love the new version until they showed it to their neighbor. And, the neighbor said literally one time, well, my neighbor said that blue looks too gay, so we need to recolor it. That's not going to cost any money, right? No, that's actually what we spent a couple of days talking about, explaining to you in the beginning that if we make changes after this certain point, it's going to cost more money. And that certain point was like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, this is going to cost, well, it's just clicking a button. No, it's not. It's actually, creating like 120 different images that I was going to create for you that I already created of your logo in every possible form and format you were going to need it in, every color version, and the one color version and the CMYK and all this stuff. I spent more time teaching people how the process works just to then have to turn around and fight with them about what I spent all that time teaching them. If we go past this point, it's going to cost more money, just so you're aware. And then they go past that point and they wonder why it costs more money. And it was so frustrating all the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm exhausted, and I often work 16-hour days, 7 days a week, usually for several weeks until I finally just crash out for 2 days and can't do anything and just stare at the wall. But I love my work, and I go to bed exhausted at the end of the night, but I go to bed exhausted with clients that are ecstatic, that can't quit talking about how much they love it, and it's so much cooler than they dreamt it was going to be. And, I never had that before. And if I have, if even when I'm dealing with like new clients, it's usually like dedicated amateurs that have put a lot of work into learning how the process goes, and they know what they need. And if they need a revision, they know how to ask for it usually, and not, just make it like 15% more awesome. That doesn't tell me squat, dude. I don't know. I made it awesome to me. If it's not awesome to you, I need concrete reasons why. Why are you mad, bro? I'm not mad. I just want to give you what you want. Tell me what you want.
Right.
Just catching up on the chat real quick. Mantlebeard says, I'd love some mix of the two, digital and traditional. Like if I could go virtual reality while drawing on paper, but be able to zoom way in to help my feeble eyes.
Oh, man.
We
That's
all
the
want
problem
that.
with traditional. The resolution's crap.
What stress? Yeah, yeah, traditional resolution. He also says, like the stress of working on deadlines instead of drawing cool supervillains. Yes.
Mhm.
I'm sorry you're missing out today, Mantlebeard. You'll have to, you know what you'll have to do? You'll have to make this your homework now and draw it and then post it on the groups later.
No. He needs to go to GoMrFish.com, and he needs to get him a copy of Roll for Your Handbook.
That too, of course.
Roll up a new one. That's your
Listen,
homework.
yeah, you listen. You got me. I'm gonna back this bad boy later.
Yeah, me too.
Those of you in the chat, hopefully you did check it out. If you have some time, this is gonna be really cool. Potentially get a couple more backers here. That'd be awesome.
Anybody from the $5 digital tier for just one of the books on up, everybody is going to get the links to the backer only live streams. So if you just want to put in $5 and come hang out and ask some questions and watch us draw some stuff, man, do it. That would be awesome. We will have a good time.
Heck
And
yeah.
I will answer all your questions to the best of my ability. It has honestly kind of freaked me out the last couple of cons I've gone to, just how many people end up coming up to me asking me advice, and then just hungrily looking at me for the answers and listening to what I say. And I'm like, I'm just some old dude that, draws cartoons for a living. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not Jim Lee or, somebody, quote, special. But like I said earlier, I'm not anything special, but I have worked on more books at this point than a lot of people in comics do in their entire career. And
Yeah.
that ain't nothing. I've been a part of, oh God, I need to recount. I've been a part of at least like 100 Kickstarters at this point,
Oh wow.
and ran like 12 or something of my own. So, I mean, there's a little bit of experience that comes in just having done something so many times and having seen it done with my friends and my clients that, you just learn some things. Like
Yeah.
the first time one of my books that I did for a client failed on Kickstarter, I cried. And I was like, oh my God, this fledgling career is over. His book didn't fund. It's never going to happen now.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever going to hire me again because, clearly my work wasn't good enough to get this book funded. And, this was my third ever job that I got paid for doing comics, and it's already over. And it's the middle of COVID now, and there's no way to get a job now. And I just knew it was over. And he just like, well, that sucked, and retooled the campaign and relaunched it the next day, and it was funded in like 2 days.
Wow, nice, man. That's awesome.
I had no idea you could do that. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was even possible.
Yeah, there is no downside to relisting a campaign
No.
from anything I've seen, and honestly, you're just giving it another chance, and the people who've already backed it, you can still notify. That backed them before, you can notify them of this new one if they
Yeah.
still want to back it. So
And they
yeah,
all came back, and some of them came back and backed for more money, but he also saw, like, from the amount of people that backed and blah blah blah, he's like, okay, this is what I need to tweak, uh, and we need to tweak these prices just a hair because everybody backed for like this tier and that wasn't quite enough to make what we need. We missed it by that much, so we'll just change this price a little bit and we'll change that just a hair. And everybody came back and everybody backed it again and got a couple of new backers and, soared past the goal real quickly. And that was exciting. And everybody's experience is different, and different things work for different people. I've had several people that are like, oh yeah, I just put like a $500 goal on there, and that way I can say we hit goal in an hour, and get the boost that I said that, and then just hope to God that we get to $3,000 that I need to get the book done, and they get it. The first time I tried that, I hit my goal, and then I hit my $500 goal, and I made like $1,500 on that campaign, and I really needed to make three, and I did not, and that stung.
yeah, it's a tricky game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could hope to pray that works in your favor, and then take the loss if it ends up being a loss, or or sometimes it's very successful and it works out forever in your favor. But it's really hit or miss. It really is from what I've seen.
Yeah, that is why I never have any copies of my anthology book I did that campaign. I never have any at shows because I couldn't afford, out of what I got, to do the big print run that I was expecting to do, because I just expected that I would get the same kind of results that I normally got, and I got half of what I normally got. It definitely didn't go up like I was expecting.
Yeah,
And I also learned that time around not to change too many things at one time, because I changed a whole bunch of things in that campaign, and most of them were not good ideas. And I cannot pinpoint what shot me in the foot for sure, because I changed so many things. If I had changed one
yeah,
thing, then, or two things, I could probably decipher and figure out what it was that killed me. But uh, when you change 15 things, it's not so easy to figure out.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Do that.
learn from my mistakes, kiddos.
All right, all right. We're gonna take a quick break here. We'll head into our trivia of the week.
Ooh,
You guys are ready?
born ready.
All right. Music trivia. Oh, okay. We are going to start off. Who is Spider-Man? Long-time love. Known by physicians M.A. Is it A, Henry Jones, B, Mary Jane Watson, or C, Molly Jane, or D, Mick Jagger? Fish, do you got those moves like Mick Jagger?
I do indeed, but I believe it is B, Mary Jane Watson. Though I don't know if her name in the movie is the same. I can't remember.
No, it's not. It's
I thought it was something different that had
It
the same
is.
initials, but
yeah, it is.
but Mary
something.
Jane is longtime love interest.
Yes. Guys, feel free to put your answers in the chat, and it'll tally it up. Mantlebeard says, "Gotta be a Mick Jagger. Gotta be the Mick Jagger." It is indeed Mary Jane Watson. All right. Next question. What famous lesson does Peter learn after Uncle Ben dies? Is it A, you start by doing the hardest thing, you forgive yourself? B, anyone can wear the mask? C, with great power comes great responsibility? Or D, you better roll that dice, Mr. Fish?
Obviously, it's D.
Yeah.
Couldn't be anything else.
Go ahead and put your answers in the chat, y'all. A, B, C, or D.
I'll take my $1 million in small bills, please.
One of these days we will do a giveaway based on whoever wins. I think that would be neat. All right, we ready? Your drum roll, please. Oop! Oh no! I did that wrong. My bad. The answer is C. With great power comes great responsibility.
I was robbed, I tell you.
All right. Last question. Why does Spider-Man ask Doctor Strange to cast a spell that ultimately erases Peter Parker from everyone's memory? Is it A, so he could finish school with no one knowing he was Spider-Man? B, in order to close a dangerous multiversal tear and stop villains from other universes from invading and destroying the world? C, so his girlfriend's parents would allow them to go on a date together? Or D, to erase the nastiest toot in history?
If you're going to Doctor Strange, D is a pretty solid reason. I'm going to go out on a limb and think the very long particular one in B might be accurate, but that's just me. I'm a risk taker, gambler, as it were.
Yes. All right, ready? Ready for the answer? It is B. In order to close a dangerous multiversal tear and stop villains from the other universes from invading and destroying the world. Thank you very much, guys. This was another episode of Artist in Progress Nerd Trivia. All right, back to the drawing board. Oh, all right. Well, let me turn my echo off. There we go.
See, I need those kind of effects. I've wanted to do sound effects and stuff on our 5-star show for a while, but I've never bothered figuring out how to actually work.
It's a lot of fun, but it adds like a ridiculous layer of complexity for at least for what we're doing. Like I have this big soundboard thing. It's got a couple like buttons on it and whatever. A bunch of audio things, and then I got my mic connected to it, and then like only certain mics can connect to it. And I'm sure there's ones that are like more fancy and can take all sorts of connections, but it's not the one I bought. So yeah, it's very overly complicated. When I really could just plug this microphone directly into my computer and have perfectly crystal clear sound, but then I wouldn't have all this fancy little buttons, knobs, and tools. So it's cool.
And what are we if not tools?
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my only thing I'm worried about is slowing my computer down to a absolute crawl, which I would be worried about because when I bought this computer, I bought it. It was an upgrade from the computer I had to do better at drawing, and it absolutely did that. It was not built to stream and draw and do multiple screens at one time and all of that stuff. So
right, yep, yeah. I have the same problem. This computer I have is absolute trash for what I'm trying to do.
Mine too.
I keep telling myself on one of these campaigns, I'm going to take a little bit of my profit and I'm going to upgrade this thing and put a new like graphics board in it or something that has more HDMI outputs for the screens that I use and, this, that, and the other. And I never do. Yeah. And it wouldn't actually cost me all that much to do it. I just don't do it.
right?
I end up spending it on something else instead. Excuse me, like another banner that I don't need or something
Right?
that seemed really
Do
cool in the
you,
moment.
could do you a banner if you're talking about like a big canvas banner. Do that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Wait until James sees his. I didn't make you a banner. I meant with your prints that I did. They look
Heck
they
yeah.
look amazing.
Yeah, from what you're showing me, man, they look great. Yeah, I'm excited to get them. Hopefully, they'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm hoping too. My friend said that they should be. But yeah, I own one of those giant. It's an Epson Sure Color P6000 that like CVS has,
oh
and
yeah.
I bought one when I went to a flea market that's not too far from here. But I was like, man, that's gonna be really cool to do my prints. And then the only thing is it can get a little expensive with the ink, but as soon as you have the right amount of ink and no troubles like I was going through this week with it, it's it prints pretty nice, I will have to say. And
That's
when
cool.
it prints on canvas like painter's canvas,
Mm-hmm.
you can't argue with that.
Oh, that
Really
is
good.
nice. Yeah, I used to have a big giant large format printer, not that big, but would do like the 13 by 19 and stuff, like my printer now will. But it would print on absolutely anything you could run through it. And I would run like watercolor paper through it all the time and print on that, and it would come out so gorgeous looking. And I just absolutely loved that thing, but it was ungodly to keep it filled with ink. It was,
Yeah,
you know, it was $150 back in the
Yeah.
day just to
yeah,
get it, and it was an ink cartridge. So if you were out of yellow, well, goodbye to all that cyan and magenta and black that you had in that cartridge. That's all gone. You got to scrap it all and start over, and
yeah.
no fun.
So I have a littler printer that does up to uh, 19 inch wide, the Epson Sure Color P700. And I lucked out on that. I bought it for 150 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. I just had to go maybe 45 minutes to look at it. But I use that for all my 11 by 17. And it saves me money. And the thing
Yeah.
is, if you don't have it set up right, you go through a lot of travel here.
Yeah. I I bought a like returned factory refurbished Epson, what is it? 1850, I think.
Yeah.
Um I bought a factory refurbished one from Amazon because it was like $100 cheaper or something.
Hmm.
Never could get a decent print out of that thing. It always streaked. Something was just out of alignment, and the head would drag across the paper at some point in the print, no matter what I did. Ended up returning it, paid the extra $100 or whatever to get a brand new one, and out of the box, it has been a dream ever since. It has a built-in locking feature, so it will lock everything down if you have to move it. I've traveled with it, and it's done great. I cannot say enough nice things about this thing. I've printed my own comics on it for quite a while. It is not the best for that. It's kind of slow. Uh, if you're going to do that full time, you definitely want something that knocks pages out really quick. And you really want a
Right.
full color laser printer if you're going to do that.
Hmm.
Uh, like, I cannot print on as thin a paper with this thing as they do at like Kablam and stuff to get those like magazine feeling pages. Uh, but when I was like doing a brand new comic book every month through my Patreon as a subscription service for 2 years, uh,
Wow. A lot of work, bro.
I that was a lot of work. That's when the Mighty Colin stuff came out, and it was a shorter book, which made it a lot easier to get, like a 16-page book done quickly amongst doing all my like client work and stuff.
Hmm.
It was a lot easier to get a 16-page action-packed book out than trying to do another 28. But anyway, it was great to be able to knock out Patreon only copies and, do a print run of like 20 for them with a special variant cover that nobody else got. And it's great for short runs of stuff. And we're going to do the Roll for Hero mini comic on it because I want to show you how it can be done. And it doesn't have to be done on a fancy printer like mine, but the eco tanks are amazing on the time saving from and the money saving from having a refillable tank rather than having to pay for
The cartridges, like I do.
oh my gosh, it
Yeah.
is so nice. I can refill it with generic inks for a fraction of the price, and there's no chip in the cartridge to read to know that you're using an off-brand. You're just putting
Yeah.
ink in the
HP is bad with
reservoir.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Epson does that too. I had issues with mine of the ink batch that I got. I paid like $600 for ink, but I got 750 milliliter cartridges, so it should last me a very long time. But granted, the chips have to work. So luckily, I use Ink Technologies as the place where I got it from, and they're really good customer service. So like, I ran into an issue right before I started printing James's stuff where my light cyan wouldn't recognize, so they overnighted me another 750 milliliter one. Unfortunately, it still didn't recognize, but I had a full Epson ink cartridge that was just a 150 milliliter. So I took the chip out of it, popped it in the other one, and it'll run 150. But luckily, there's a company that makes the chips for $35 that if I have a full one, they'll just let me pop the chip in it, and then I can go from there.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
It's a shame you have to go through that much trouble, but
yeah,
that shouldn't be a thing. But
yeah. Well, one question I had for you about your printer is my Sure Color P700. I could put a roll on the back of it and feed it in through the back, and it'll print on a roll. Will yours print on a roll?
I don't know.
So
That's an interesting question. I mean, there shouldn't be any reason that it can't,
yeah,
and I wouldn't think. And it definitely, like, it has a rear feeder where you can take off part of the back of the printer and feed in big things that are too stiff and too flat. Like you can feed in, like if I had hardboard that was, thin enough to fit under the print heads and stuff, I could send that through and print on it. I can send real heavy cardstocks through and stuff. Like when I did my own sketch cards, I got some really, really heavyweight, like 130 cover grade pound
oh yeah,
cardstock that was like really thick, like walkout kind of board, and would run it through there and print the fronts of them and then trim them and have trading card on one side and then open space on the back to do sketches. And the front had like a short pitch for one of my books and a QR code where you could sign up for the mailing list and get a free copy of Green Zone or whatever. And it worked out great for that. But I
yeah,
don't see any reason it wouldn't.
yeah. Mine's pretty cool. Like you flip down the back of it. I'm gonna zoom up here for a minute. You can flip down the back, but it's got a groove in the tray, and you set the roll down in it, and
Oh,
then you
that's
just put it
nice.
in, and it's got two little hooks that push into the cylinder part of the roll. And you go
Yeah,
from
mine
there.
doesn't have a built-in spot to hang it like that,
Yeah,
but oh, that's nice, man.
yeah.
That's nice. That's sweet.
One of these days, I'm gonna run a big job through it. I ran probably 3 or 4 prints, but I like 5 prints of each. Threw it on a roll on photo paper, which came out super glossy. I mean, it looks really good, but it's not something I would hang on a wall near a window. but the cool part is that like I just had some extra big rolls that I bought. Like I had one that was 36 inches wide, and I was like, man, my big printer only prints 2 feet wide. So I had a buddy of mine had a bandsaw, taped it up really, really, really tight with masking tape. I just ran it through his bandsaw. Now I have 5 or 6 rolls of 19 inches wide that could run right through that thing. So I'm saving ink on
That's
my
a thing
big printer.
right there.
This is my bottom one. Yep, my smaller one.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah.
If anybody in the chat has any questions for us or Mr. Fish, please let us know. We're about to start wrapping up here. Mr. Fish is going all the way, full colors and everything. I got as far as I had to do a warm up, and then I had to do a pencil sketch. But I like my little character. I might actually use this someday. Who knows?
Well, I got a question. I know that people in the chat might have one, but what is the best bang for your buck on your Kickstarter?
I mean, the $35 tier gets you the print copies of the handbook. It gets you a print copy of the mini comic. It gets you the character design drawing pad, which is getting blown out by my lights, but has all kinds of different character sheets and stuff on it and images that you can draw over with your own characters. There's a GIF of it further down the page where you can see it go through a whole bunch of the pages and see all of the different sized figures and stuff that are on there that are all drawn in like non-repo blue line. So they're not super dark. You can draw over it and make that character whatever you want your guy to be. And you can see there's all kinds of different sized men and women figures for character sheets. So you can just roll through and write down right in the slot what, your alignment is, what your origin is, yada, yada. You get all of that and dice for $35, which is a pretty good deal with domestic shipping included. So, if you're in the US, you just pay $35 flat. You don't get a secondary shipping fee after the fact. You don't get hit for 85 cents tax going through the freaking what is their backer kit version that they have on Kickstarter now at the end, that even if you paid everything up front, you still get hit with tax at the end, which just insults me, just makes me mad. It's all rolled up into the price. I saw somebody else do that, and I was like, oh, that's genius. I need to start doing that. If you want a brand new character drawn, there are the $75 and $100 tiers where you get to come on the show, and there's tiers for me and Esteban. So you can come on and either digital for $75 or for $100, you get an actual 11x17 poster of your character printed out and shipped to you flat with all of the print books and everything else and the dice and the drawing.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is an amazing deal.
And you get that character that we design. You get the rights to that. The only rights that we keep are the ability to be able to show the time lapse and reprint it and roll for hero stuff. Like if we do a sketchbook, we're going to show the character in it. But other than that, it's yours. You can make books with it, get rich off of it. That's the cheapest you're ever going to get me to design a character for you. Just saying. So if you want to pay for it, you can come hang out. There's also commissions and stuff you can get on there.
I was looking at the commissions too, because I like other people's art. I really might want to get one.
Yeah, I always throw some commission slots in there on my campaigns, and usually throw them in on clients' campaigns too, just to help out, give them a way to help pad the ultimate goal that they get funded. And
yeah, dude, this is awesome. And it looks like you got one extra backer. You were at 19 backers,
awesome.
Now you're at 20.
We hit 20. Yeah. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Maybe before the end of the show, we can get them to get maybe a one or two more. That would be fantastic, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great deal. I mean, even if you just get the handbook print for 15 is a good deal.
And that's shipping included as well.
Yeah. I mean, you get the digital friggin' Roll for Hero handbook for $5. If
Mhm.
you're like, you know what, I don't want a physical product, but this will be cool to mess around with. That's
And
great.
you can still hang out with us. You can watch us design
Yeah,
the characters. You can watch as much of the live streams as you want. Maybe
yeah,
you just got questions on, shipping and fulfilling a Kickstarter. Come hang out for that part of it. And
Yeah.
all of
yeah,
the videos will be made public after the fact. So I want it to be a learning opportunity for everybody down the road as well. But it's going to be exclusive to the backers when it's live. So if you want to be in there and ask questions and you want to shout out ideas for names and you want to be the guy that can say, "Hey, this character, has a foot for a face because I yelled that out and they thought it was funny and they did it," or, "I
yeah,
wanted to name this guy Sassafras, so that's why he's named Sassafras." I don't know. If you want to be a part of the process, it's a great opportunity for as little as $5,
yeah, yeah. Awesome. All right, so all right. Real quick promo for the show. For those of you who do follow us, follow along. We're gonna be doing we're gonna be doing a lot more art here on the show. And we're planning on doing a couple of giveaways going forward over on the Patreon page. Which there is a link in the description. If you go to Patreon, you'll see the art. You'll see the artist in progress and stuff. Go give us a follow for free, absolutely free. Get you in the door, get you, followed. We're planning on doing exclusive after show content for people who do back it once we get those tiers set up. So follow along for now. We're gonna have like a special Q&A sessions, stuff like that for backers. But if you join for free, you get all the updates, events. I'm planning on putting together like a calendar over there, so check that out.
Mhm.
Give us a follow over there. We also have an Instagram page, so if you go to artistinprogress.net, we'll take you to all of our social links right now. I just put that website together this week.
Yep.
So yeah, check it out. It'll also load the latest episode in the podcast series too. So if you're like, oh, did I miss an episode? Let me go watch it there if you can't find the YouTube for whatever reason. So yeah, it's really, really cool. We're planning on, doing a lot of really cool things. We got our feelers out, and we're very excited. So go give us a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we look forward to seeing you guys more on the shows. We're gonna have a lot more things we're doing prompt wise as far as for you guys specifically and for us to draw and things like that. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So some shows will be more dedicated towards drawing. Some shows will be more dedicated to our specific guests that we have on. Like Mr. Fish. He's like, yeah, let's draw. So this was a lot of fun. So go check out Mr. Fish's Kickstarter campaign. And go get yourself something cool, man. This is an awesome opportunity. Got a lot of really awesome things on the Kickstarter, and we will also have a lot more stuff. And maybe, hopefully, we get to join him soon on his show too. So check out his show,
Oh, that'd be
Roll
awesome.
for Hero, over on YouTube as well.
Yeah. On our Patreon too, I have that Absolute Mega Man that we did last week when we were doing the sketching on the sketchbook, or sorry, the blank covers for comic books.
Yes.
And then this will probably go up too if anybody is interested in wanting something like this for them. I'll sign it, and if you want it colored, I'll color it, and then that'll be yours forever.
Heck yeah.
So things like that,
Rock
cool
on.
stuff from the show.
So before we do our final wrap ups, Mr. Fish, why don't you give us
Yeah.
a little rundown on your character?
This is, I don't know what her name is yet. I haven't come
All right,
up
no
with
name yet.
a name yet. This is usually where I've got my chat yelling out all kinds of awesome stuff, and I don't have to think of it, or I can riff off of what they came up with.
Guys in the
But
chat, if you have a name, throw it in the comments. Let's
oh
hear
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
What like
But
Megalino or something?
she got experimented on by aliens and mutated, and now she grows up into this jolly green giant and has this sonic scream that can just destroy everything below her. And she's got this armor built specifically for her, so her suit is all stretchy and can grow, but she's got the guards on her legs and her knees and her arms and stuff, so when she's kicking through buildings and smashing through buildings, she, doesn't break her legs and whatnot.
Yeah.
I love thinking through that stuff. Like, I remember we were helping a friend move, and we were going through their garage, and I found this old brace that was like leather and metal for when he had like sprained his wrist or broken his wrist or something. And it strapped on and it had a place for his thumb. And it was just this hard thing around my wrist that I could just smash through dang near anything and not twist my wrist. I loved that thing so much. And I think about that when I'm designing stuff like this. Like, what would she need to be able to smash through? If she's an average girl, other than growing to, say 90 feet tall and having a sonic scream that cracks granite, she's got to protect her shins and her ankles and her wrists and things like that.
Yeah. Nice. Rock on. Brandon, you want to give us your spiel for your character?
So it's still a play on kind of like a not so good guy. So and I will have one-liners. So I used a little bit of some Bruce Campbell. Good, bad. I'm the guy with the big guns. And then when he's small, he could scream pretty good. And then I got a cool thing on his belt. I figured that this is how he grows here. So you got 2 arrows pointing up to when he's big and he turns it.
Oh.
Yeah.
And when he turns it the other way, he shrinks back down.
That's cool. I like that mechanic. I like that. Mantlebeard said for Mr. Fish's Eruptura.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I love the idea of like essentially having one power when you grow of being big and being strong, and then like having the scream as you get smaller is really a cool idea. Like,
yeah,
I had a similar thing with a character that we did on our sci-fi season that turned out to be Meteor Mandy. And when she shrinks, she can go faster and faster and faster as she flies and becomes like dang near indestructible the smaller she gets, and can rocket through things, like tiny space debris going through a space station at high speed. And the thought of her getting more powerful the smaller, more concentrated she got was so cool to me. I love that.
That is pretty neat.
So mine, I kind of gave you guys a little bit of the spiel earlier, but again, I don't have a name for this character either. But his powers come from an alien spaceship that leaked its fuel when it landed, and basically infected his DNA, causing him to become more humanoid and give him powers, basically causing him to evolve. And so he's able to grow and shrink, and he believes that he needs to wipe humans off the planet so that his kind can thrive and take over the planet as well. So as you can see here, he's got like I like Mr. Fish's idea with the magnifying glass. I thought that was kind of
man.
Cool. So, and then we got the little guy here. He's like, don't stop me. So that was fun. This was a really fun experiment. I had a lot of fun with this. So.
I can totally see him on the Power Rangers in a rubber suit, like shaking his staff with the magnifying glass on the end, like you'll never stop triumphant, and just like stomping on the city.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be so awesome.
Yes, dude. So I had the original drawing, and I was like, I thought this was a good starting point. And then I was like, let me Google like ant details. So then I was like, oh, okay, I did like armor plating and stuff like that. So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I liked trying to evolve the character as I was working on it. I think it was a lot of fun.
That was one of the fun things that we came up with this dude when we were creating him, because the character that Esteban was creating ended up very Sentai looking. Like he looked like a firefighter Sentai dude. And
that's cool.
And we came up with this idea of him like training this whole other group of firefighters to have his same magical abilities that he had from training. And the more we got to joking around about them being like the Power Rangers, the more I realized this dude absolutely looks like a rubber suit, monster smashing the
Yeah.
city. And we thought how funny it would be if he crashed to Earth and was this big giant thing, and they went to stop him, only to realize he's not necessarily evil. He's just, he's just needs a little guidance. So instead of like destroying him, they try and teach him how to be a good guy, which would be even funnier with a guy that's not so good, but isn't purely evil. But, like I said, he comes from a carnivorous plant world. So, like he tries to save the day, but, I can eat the dog, right? Come on. The dog's not a baby. Let me eat the dog at least.
That's
and
fun.
Trying to train him to be a good guy would be so funny. But we can't make a book of everything. That's the thing. Every time we do this, we come up with characters we want to create a book about. But if you join Roll for Hero, we're going to do it this time. We're going to make a book. You're going to see it. You're going to have it in your hot little hands, and you're going to get to take part. You're going to get to say you had a part in it. You're going to get listed as one of the, creative team that helped bring this thing to life. So hey, you're going to get your name in the credits in a comic book. That's worth $5 right there.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah. Well, again, Mr. Fish, thank you for coming on, man.
100%.
Go check out Mr. Fish's Kickstarter. I put the link in the chat. I'll have the link updated in the description as well. And hopefully you guys get in on this on the ground floor. And I will see you all over on one of those streams. I am sure. 'Cause I am definitely getting in on this Kickstarter. So looking forward to it, Mr. Fish.
Absolutely, man. Thanks
Brandon,
for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. One last thing. For those of you who are in the Virginia area or looking to travel this weekend, I will be at Big Lick Comic-Con, debuting some new products and having a lot of fun. This will be my first time at the show, so I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody over there in Virginia. It's in Roanoke, Virginia, so very excited. So come check me out if you're in the Virginia area, and hopefully I'll see y'all there. Brandon, any closing thoughts, my friend?
Well, oh, you want to hear them out loud? Okay.
Yeah, out loud.
So, So, I just secured my tables for Flower City Con in September.
Heck yeah, I'll be there as well.
Yeah, that'll be my first time there, so we'll get to hang out again. That's gonna be cool. And then I'm just finishing up. Well, hopefully finishing up by not next week, but the week after, my charity piece for Retro Game Con. So that's going to be fun. I'll post that on my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. But one big thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to back his Kickstarter.
Score.
Heck yeah, man. Score. So,
Sure.
yes, again, Mr. Fish, thank you very much. They can find you at Mr. Fish Comics on Instagram, TikTok, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
YouTube,
All right, rock
Facebook,
on.
every which where. Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mr. Fish Comics absolutely everywhere. MrFishComics.com if you want to go buy some of the back issues and stuff, or you can get them as add-ons on the campaign at GoMrFish.com. GOMRFISH.com. I spell fish the same way you do. Everybody asks. I spell it the same way you do.
Well, I mean, they had that band. What was the band called?
Yeah,
Something
the
Fish.
band Fish. Yeah.
Oh, PHISH?
Yeah, they spelled differently, right? So maybe that's
Yes,
spelling
they do.
everybody else.
That was great to grow up with around high school. That was a lot of fun.
But thank you guys for hanging out with me, and we will see y'all next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Peace out.